Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Game. Today we're going to be having a look at Raiden for Overkill, which is the latest in a fairly long-running series of arcade shmups brought to you by Moscow Limited. And this is not the first one to make its way to PC. Raiden 3 is also available, and this goes to the tune of about $15 on Steam at the moment. I am not the world's hugest fan of vertical scrolling shmups, but I certainly don't hate them. I've come across quite a few that I enjoy. So I'm going to see if someone that is new to the series can find anything to like here in Raiden for Overkill. I'm going to go into Overkill mode, and as always in this series, the game gets 15 minutes, and its 15 minutes of game begins now. Alright then, let's just dive right in, shall we, on normal difficulty. So we can pick between Plasma Laser and Proton Laser for a pickup. Okay, we'll go for Plasma Laser, I think. We'll see how that goes. Alright. Bear in mind, it's a vertical scrolling shoot-em-up, which means the vast majority of the screen space is completely wasted, I'm afraid. You can play this in vertical mode if you turn your monitor 90 degrees, which is of course recommended for playing a game like this, but for YouTube, you can't film like that. YouTube supports 16:9 only, so that's what you're getting. I am sorry for all of the wasted space. Alright, let's get on with it. So, there seems to be like an overkill meter, I think, from what I can tell. Oh, wow, died very quickly. Okay, so you can only take one hit. There's like an overkill meter, which I think gives you extra score if you keep shooting at it. So that I got overkill level 3 from there. So you can go and then collect the bonus. You do have to watch out for stuff fighting on the ground as well. Everything in the background is rendered in 3D, which can be a little bit disconcerting because sometimes it's a little tricky to distinguish between what is terrain and what is destructible. But it's not too shabby. Oh, okay, let's dodge out of the way of that. Careful, careful, careful. Man, you can die so bloody fast, though, regardless, I have to admit. Alright, we have a plasma laser thingy, I think. There was a lot going on. It's definitely not a bullet hell style by any stretch. You know, there's not bullets flying all over the screen, but it is pretty damn difficult to keep track of what's flying at you, I have to admit. Not that I'm very good at this genre, so I imagine some of you that play a lot of these games like, you can't even manage the first level of Raiden 4, you should just go home and be a family man. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you there. There we go, it's got spread shot and missiles all over the damn place. So a decent amount of pickups. I always like shoot-em-ups with a lot of pickups. I know a lot of bullet hell games don't necessarily focus too much on pickups, which I think is a little bit disappointing. I think it's I prefer maybe more of the Western style, things like Stargunner, Xenon 2, Swiv. What else was good that I enjoyed? A Raptor Call of Shadows, that was a good one, where you were able to collect money and then buy a bunch of weapons with it, and we died immediately. It's a good job that this game, I think, has unlimited continues. Alright, so that was the plasma laser that I just threw away. There we go, we got it back again, wonderful. There's also a bomb that you can use to destroy everything on the screen, which is kind of unsurprising. We're doing a lot of damage with this. This is good, I don't have to aim. That's reasonable. There we go, let's fire off a bomb. It's reasonably visually impressive, admittedly. You know, this is the sort of thing that probably could have been done 10 years ago, and if you think of that... try again. If you think that I am exaggerating, then just have a look at Ikaruga, which, you know, looked very, very good 10 plus years ago. Alright, cool, we managed that. No problem whatsoever. This doesn't seem too bad so far. Tricky, certainly, but there we go. Points, bonuses, and all that wonderful sort of thing. And we missed 6% of the enemies, which is obviously extremely disappointing. Soundtrack is extremely Japanese. When I think of this sort of shooter, this is exactly the sort of music that I would think of, I have to admit. I suppose it's a shame the weapon system is a little bit more complex than this. It's more of a case of, oh, right, you use whatever you pick up, and then pickups replace other pickups and all that sort of thing. Like, okay. I mean, it's alright, but... I really did enjoy those games where you're able to get a huge amount of upgrades, and there was a decent amount of complexity to the combat as a result of the equipment you had, which this is not about that. The complexity comes from dodging all of these goddamn bullets. Holy hell, there are so many of them. I remember playing Jets and Guns quite a lot and really enjoying the economy system of that and switching between the different craft for the different levels because you could fully refund everything, so you could pick a different loadout for each level, which I found to be really nice, and there were some very interesting ideas in that game. Jets and Guns is awesome, by the way. If you haven't played that, you absolutely should, because it is just phenomenally good. Helps, of course, that it has a soundtrack by Machine Eye Supremacy. But anyway, back to Raiden 4. There's not really a lot of that there. It's more a sort of pure arcade experience of deal with whatever the hell it is that's coming at you on the screen. Pick up what you can and just do the best you can with what you've got. Which is compelling, I think, from a pure skill standpoint, but less so if you're looking for something which maybe has a little bit more depth of customization, I suppose. There are a couple of different ships you can pick, although I don't know if they have any different performance or anything along those lines. I was able to pick between those two different weapons. One has to wonder if you can unlock more. As you'll notice, this is one that I didn't pick at all. It only let me pick what the purple power-up gave me. I'm going to use a bomb here. Screw this. Oh my god. So much stuff. Not really sure what the H does or anything along those lines. Would definitely be nice to have maybe tooltips between levels that told me what those different pickups actually did. I'm assuming that picking them all up is a good thing, and I'm probably correct in that assumption. Just let it kind of float in this general direction. Still died anyway. Oh, thank God for lots of continues, all I could say here, and most of my good weapons disappeared. Alright, M! That's missiles. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think there was actually a list somewhere of what the pickups did. I just missed them. I think it was on that help screen at the start there. Probably should have skipped forward there and not immediately jumped into the game. But it's fine, we can figure it out as we go. Missiles are good, we like that. So I have 3 bombs. The bombs are B pickups that you can grab. Some reasonably impressive looking bosses so far. With some kind of cool ideas behind them. I don't think they'll ever beat, like, the unbelievable innovation behind the Ikaruga bosses or anything like that. It was so much... Damn. So much going on there. This isn't too shabby, I've got to admit. You know, if I recall correctly, a guy that I used to do a show with back in the day called Swag, I don't think he does YouTube videos anymore. I think he works for a games developer now. But he was a big fan of the Raiden series, and I recall him commenting on Raiden 4, but the problem is I've never played any of the other Raiden series, so I don't really have any basis for comparison there. I played a decent amount of shoot-em-ups over the past few years, and the most recent one I played was Crimson Clover, of course, which was just absolutely insane in terms of the amount of stuff that was going on the screen and the amount of pickups and all that sort of thing. It was kind of face-melting in terms of the amount of color that was available there. I also played Asta Breed, which I thought was really, really good as well. Although, it worked a little bit different to this. You know, this is a more traditional style shmup. It's not bad so far. It's alright. I'm not really seeing anything that blows me away in terms of innovation, but then again, I suppose if you're doing a long-running arcade series, your fans have a very specific expectation of what's going to come from the game, so you won't necessarily want to change too much. Oh, so it isn't unlimited continues. Alright, game over it is then. I guess that'll give us an opportunity to try out some other modes. Well, there we go. We did kind of okay against the defaults. I am now CCC. 13 new ships were added to the gallery. I got credits, which I guess give me some unlocks or something like that. I don't think we want to save the... Yes, I'm okay with not remembering that. Okay, so what happens if we go back to the main menu and see what else is available here? So there's a score attack, there's some locked up stuff here. The gallery, I suppose, shows you enemies. Yep, 3D renders of all the stuff that you've been fighting. Okay, that's kind of neat. Although, it does make it abundantly clear how low resolution they are. Good lord. Okay. Alright, we'll dive out of that. Do we really have to have saving content every single time we go through a menu here? Does it have to keep saving it? Alright. So we've got additional mode, variation of arcade mode with 2 new stages, score attack, and arcade mode, the original experience. Okay, fair enough. I guess that'll probably be fairly similar to what I just did. You can also you can pick a weird fairy thing. I'm not sure if that has different attacks. I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? It's probably just cosmetic, but let's have a look anyway. Alright. And then you've got this dual play style, which I think is a co-op mode of some sort. There's also double. What happens if I... so you can you can play as both players at the same time. I am not going to do that. I can't even handle one, let alone the others. Alright, so those are what the pickups do. So that's Vulcan laser, plasma laser, as I picked earlier. Bombs, one-ups. Yeah, okay. That's all pretty logical. And we accidentally went back. Okay. Let us begin. Light and original. You are supposed to try this one. Okay, yeah, I probably should have tried that one in the first place. Let's pick light mode then. And I don't get to choose a weapon as this character, I guess. Alright then. I do wonder if she's got different attacks. Probably not. It's probably just a little nice addition for people who are fans of the series or whatever. Okay, I am now this fairy. Okay, she does have different attacks. She fires flower missiles for whatever reason. Okay, this is a lot easier. I definitely feel less stressed out playing this mode versus the Overkill mode there. It is nice that they included that. I believe Crimson Clover had a similar option as well. It's like, oh, you're new to shoot-'em-ups? You might want to play this one because we don't really want to drive you away too quickly. I appreciate that. That's a good addition. Alright, yeah, this is a lot easier. Not that it really seems to have added all that much. What happens if I hit the bomb? Okay, so it sends a barrage of fairies at them. Of course. I mean, why not? Why not? Might as well. I'm not sure if any of the pickups really matter when playing as this character. Oh, we grabbed the purple. Alright, so... Oh, it's bubbles. Right. I can't say I'm massively keen on that attack. Maybe the plasma laser would have been a better bet. Oh, well, never mind. It is what it is. We're stuck with it now. Although it is certainly nice to have the overkill functionality. And we don't really have that now. Kill, 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 kill. There we go. Get out of the way. Thank you very much. Grab the blue. Now, this... I'm not keen on this weapon at all. No, not a fan of that. Not a fan of that whatsoever. But we're stuck with it for the time being. Grab that fairy thing. I haven't died once yet. This is great. Obviously, I've got much, much better at the game. It's not that the game is a hell of a lot easier or anything in this mode. It takes, I think, a little bit of effort to convince me to go out of my way to play a game like this, though. And it's just because I'm not, like, hugely into the genre, so the game's got to do something really interesting. Like, Jamestown was a bullet hell-ish shooter that I play quite a lot of. I was awful at it, but it's just the aesthetic was so different to everything else that it really kept me in the game, and the music was awesome as well. This, like, there's nothing that I'm spotting that would keep me as a casual shoot-'em-up player playing. It's not the game's bad, you know, the game seems perfectly solid, but that's not quite enough for me. It's probably not... Oh, God, I wasn't even paying attention. It's probably not quite enough for casual fans of the genre, either. You know, high score attacks and all that sort of thing are not really the sort of thing that I'm into. But, you know, there are other games to go for that. I don't think you go to a well-liked, sort of venerated arcadey series looking for that sort of level of innovation. I mean, why would you have that kind of progression system in a game that was originally in Japanese arcades? I mean, you wouldn't. You simply wouldn't. That's completely and totally illogical. So, I suppose it's like going to Disneyland and asking, you know, why all the Universal Studios rides aren't there. It's to be expected. But I'm not sure if I would keep playing a game like this. It's not that I'm not enjoying myself. Sure, why not? It's okay. It's not bad. It's alright. It's not too shabby. The graphics definitely look a little bit dated. Thankfully, it's moving so fast it doesn't really matter. You know, you don't really get a chance to critique the background texture work when there's that much stuff going on at the screen at any given time. They did a pretty good job of transitioning it to 3D, I think. You know, outside the background textures are a bit gnarly, but most of the ship models are still pretty good. They're well detailed, they look good, they're well designed. I'm always worried about games in this genre transitioning to 3D. It's not like there haven't been ones that have worked really, really well in 3D. I mean, Cinemora was incredible looking. Ikaruga still looks great today. But the old style, you know, the 2D pixel style of doing things has its strengths when dealing with genres like this. Although, a lot of the indie Japanese bullet hell shooters I don't really like the aesthetic of, so maybe there's a counter-argument to that as well. I guess I don't think there's a right style. I think it really just comes down to how well the game in question executes it. This isn't bad. Alright, let us murder this before our time is up, shall we? You know, if you are into the Raiden style or Raiden style, I don't know which it is, gameplay, then yeah, I could absolutely see why you would want to try and pick something like this up. Is it a good starting point for those in the series? I mean, I really don't know because I haven't played any of the others. I mean, it seems fairly straightforward. I don't feel like I should have played the others to understand what's going on. Now, it's immediately accessible. I'd probably get a little bit more out of it if I'd played the other games, but still, nothing too bad, nothing too bad. Dodge, 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 dodge. I think that the fairy seems to have a very, very small hitbox, although I might be mistaken. Maybe it's just the easier difficulty level. Okay, I missed the bomb here. Get the hell out of the way. That's far too stressful for my liking. No more of that. No more. Alright, points. Good. I like points. The soundtrack's pretty great. I like that. I'm gonna shut up for a second and let you hear it. I thought it made sense to give a little bit of kudos to where some of the music that we use in the background of things like Content Patch came from. We actually do use a Raiden remix in the bed music for Content Patch. It's either Content Patch or Sailbox. So, that would be kind of cool to let you hear the original. Alright, that pretty much wraps me up, I think, on this one. You know, it's a pretty solid shmup. You know, there's not a whole amount to complain about here, honestly. It's kind of enjoyable. It's definitely not my sort of genre. I think I require a different kind of depth. That's not to say that this game is shallow, it's not. Just the kind of depth that I like from games like this is a little difficult. I like those games that have the economy, like Xenon 2 Mega Blast, and Raptor, and Stargunner, and Jets and Guns, and all that sort of thing. That let me play around with weapon loadouts, and get new ships and upgrade, and all that kind of stuff. And this game doesn't have that, because obviously it's an arcade game, why would it have that sort of thing? But the arcade gameplay is pretty damn solid, for the most part. Not a lot to complain about, really. You can go and have a look at it yourself if you like. It's over on Steam, $15, your regional equivalent. My name's been TotalBiscuit, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.